Hello and welcome to The Well. I'm your host, Dr. Brendan Arm, doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, Chinese medicine herbalist, and founder director of Lotus Integrative Medicine in Santa Monica, California. There's a wealth of health-related information out there, and I'm joined today by this wonderful group of integrative and holistic medical doctors and practitioners to share some of our favorite wellness tips. Please let me introduce you to Bianca Rodriguez, a holistic psychotherapist, Dr. Keith McAllister, a naturopathic doctor and registered herbalist, Leona West, a clinical nutritionist and herbalist, also trained and certified in functional medicine, and Dr. Rob Krochmal, a medical doctor and a practicing physician who is board certified in family medicine, nutrition, and integrative and holistic medicine. So let's begin. Today's topic is how to lose the COVID weight. Leona, take it away. You're a nutritionist. Tell us what to do.
Okay, well, I think, there's so many reasons why this has occurred. One that's really interesting is just this idea that even people that fidget more are burning more calories. So just even very incidental movement can actually be good for our metabolic health. And I think, although there's so many influences as why this has happened, part of it is this, extreme sedentary behavior that most of us have adopted, working from Zoom and these types of ways. So one thing that I would recommend is this concept of a movement snack or a fitness snack. And so the idea is, if you are sitting in front of a computer for an hour, you don't have time to go out for a hike or whatever. But if you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, even if it's 5 minutes, and you get up and you do a series of yoga poses or squats, or you jump on your rebounder. That's my favorite. I love to jump. So I jump on my rebounder for 5 minutes. Or you just, circle around your house, whatever it is. But this concept, because a lot of people, they're not going to be changing this behavior anytime soon in terms of this new way of working. So if we're thinking about how we're going to lose the weight moving forward, then we've got to reimagine what that daily schedule might look like if you're working from your computer in this very fixed way. So the idea of a movement snack, of just getting up and, just 5 minutes of just moving the body, if you repeat that even a few times during the day, that's really going to make a big difference in terms of metabolic health. Not only is that critical for metabolism, but it's also really good for our brain, our mood, obviously our circulatory health. So that's one concept. And then although I know that this is a concept that people talk a lot about, it can't be underemphasized, which is intermittent fasting. But I would be a little bit more specific, because the trend around fasting, a lot of it is kind of like skipping breakfast and then starting that late. But if you look at the research around fasting and weight loss, it's specific to an early dinner time. I know it's really boring, but when you can finish off dinner as early as 5, 6 p.m. and then initiate the fast from there, that's when people have the most significant weight loss. So that's a really easy thing to incorporate. Again, it doesn't have to be every single day, but even if you do it a few times a week, you have that early dinner and you start that fast, that's where you're going to maximize the weight loss and the fat loss. And then another very non-sexy but really important weight loss tip is fiber. We really underestimate the importance of fiber. And a lot of people who go on diets, the first thing they do unwittingly is they cut their fiber intake because they're cutting their calories. But fiber actually is very key to the whole fat burning process. So if we want to burn fat, especially from the midsection, then we want to make sure that we're getting, high fiber cruciferous vegetables, berries, raspberries, beans. Avocados are surprisingly really high in fiber. So really making sure that if someone starts to reduce their portions and calories, that they don't end up throwing out the fiber, then they're wondering, why is the weight loss kind of stalling? It might be because they're on a low fiber diet. And well, okay, so I'll stop there. I've got more tips, but those are a few.
Well, I just want to jump in and say that as a person with anxiety and person that knows that one of the symptoms of anxiety is fidgeting, I would just like all the folks out there that have fidgeting as part of their anxiety to know, like, look at that. A silver lining is you're burning extra calories. And from a psychological perspective, I love how you framed it a movement snack, because a snack sounds like a delight and it sounds like not a big deal. And a lot of this stuff, I think, when it has to do with our energy around exercise and weight and body image, it feels so dutiful or punishing, or like you're disappointed that, you gained weight. And it's like, look, we've all been going through a lot. We've never lived in this time before. You've never been limited the way that you're limited. And so looking at it like an exercise snack and allowing it to be fun and like a treat, like you get to get up from your computer and change it up. I love to dance. I think a dance party is fun. Singing at the top of your lungs burns more calories than sitting at a computer, I would guess. I do not have scientific evidence, but I would imagine it does. So I just really appreciate those points that you brought up.
Thanks.
Keith and Rob, or Dr. Rob?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big topic. Weight is one of those things that even pre-COVID, people were always asking about, how do I lose weight? And then COVID hit. And I think, Leona, you brought up some salient points in the sense that, well, you didn't explicitly say it, but stopping eating around 6, what's been happening really is that people are sitting on the couch and snacking until midnight. So when you're eating, when your belly is full and you go to sleep, your body's in that state of rest and basically storing for later. It's like you're going to take those extra calories that you can't possibly burn during sleep and store them for later. And so they become fat stores and carbohydrates. And it seems maybe really simplistic to say it, but fat doesn't make you fat, right? A lot of times the things that make us fat are sugars and carbohydrates, those snacky things. So if you switch out your snacks for other snacks, so like, let's say you decide instead of potato chips, you're gonna eat celery. Well, guess what? You're gonna burn more calories chewing that celery than you actually get from the celery itself, versus potato chips, which are 100% starch. So I think if you choose healthy snacks, that's, if you eat celery sticks and hummus, like you're kind of not doing anything bad to yourself. The timing could still be an issue, but don't take your treats away, just bait and switch them out for something that's not bad for you. I used to eat apple slices and nut butter, and I programmed myself that was my treat. Instead of having a sugary dessert, I would have that as my treat, and I accepted it and I ran with it, and it's great, it's delicious, and I'm getting my sweet and my salty, and it's perfect. So I think if you do these little adjustments to your daily habits, those have big impacts over a long period of time. There's a lot on this topic. For some people, it might be beneficial to check your thyroid, check your hormones, check your blood counts. Like you might need a medical workup if you've really been struggling. And I think, yes, some form of movement has to happen. The reductionistic way of thinking about weight loss is that it's just calories in, calories out, which isn't entirely always true, but it is also true. It is also true because we are a bank account. But the quality of that bank account matters, right? Are you taking in high quality nutrient dense foods? If you are, you're going to have less cravings, guaranteed you're going to have less cravings because your body's actually being nourished. If you're eating empty foods that have no nutritional value, your body's going to be left wanting and you're going to be seeking out more and you're not sure what that more is. So there's a lot to it. Rob, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, well, I know we're running out of time, so we'll have to probably do a part 2 on this. So I would maybe just, the one idea I would just second Leona's idea of the movement, what did you call it?
Movement snack.
Movement snack. I was going to say movement fast, but know that, I would say capitalize on the change and the optimism that is happening right now. Know that the body is highly adaptable. Maybe when you're even thinking about doing a snack, yes, do a snack that's a more healthy snack, or maybe say, you know what, do I really even need a snack at all? And that movement, the movement,
so funny to call it a snack. I would just like you to know that you guys are all snacks. Everybody else
Yeah,
is a
that's
snack,
right.
okay? That's another way you could use that term.
Sometimes just drinking a glass of water, taking some deep breaths, doing some movement like that, you realize, I wasn't actually really hungry at all. And that felt much better. And so you're nurturing yourself in a way that's really taking care of yourself.
And maybe I'll just make like a couple tiny little comments. I have a lot to say on this, but we do have to finish it up. Even just like we're doing a little laughing, a little joy, and a little hanging out with people, even if it's remotely, like some of that must be good for metabolism and must be good for the mind. It must be good for, helping us lose some weight. One simple comment I was going to make was, we moved out of fall and winter, which is more the storing period from a Chinese perspective. And now it's more the spring, or soon and later it'll be summer. That's the time to shed. So, from a TCM or like a holistic perspective of just letting go of all this extra weight, letting go of, some of the dormancy and starting to get more active. One, just because of the season, should help us to lose a little weight. And then I'll have to point out one of the things that he told me years ago, because I, have had my own issues with migraines. He told me among many things was just to drop dairy. And I wasn't trying to, but I dropped 10 pounds just by taking out dairy. It did nothing different. Stress was the same, sleep pattern was the same, exercise was the same, everything else was the same. Just took out dairy, and within 3 to 6 months, I just dropped 10 pounds. And that was a lot for someone of my weight already. So, maybe dairy or too much meat and stuff like that, but just a couple thoughts. We definitely
inflammatory foods. It's inflammatory foods. Yeah, you'll drop inflammatory water weight really quickly.
Okay, we got to talk about this next time.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot to unpackage in this one. So let's definitely do part 2. Yeah. That's all we have for today. If you have a topic you'd like to learn more about, let us know with a comment on social media. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our The Well YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us, and please join us next time for more wellness tips. Remember, regardless of where we are, our resources in the well are limitless.